Good afternoon, everyone. Our Division Chair of Business and Applied Tech. It's my great pleasure to welcome to UNM Gallup Sandra Begay, who will be doing our presentation today. Sandra.
And where would you like me to stand for the Zoom
It
folks?
looks like anywhere along in here they'd be able to see you.
Okay.
I think you're fine.
I think you're good. You can see me right there. And if I'm facing the camera, I'm facing this way, but I don't know how to face the other. Good afternoon, everybody. We're recording through Zoom and also having other campuses join this overview of how to generate a business idea. But welcome back those who attended the seminar we had earlier in the semester. Thank you for hanging in there. Thanks for those who are taking a class online. I've had good reports of what has been generated, and I think there's a group from Gallup that has joined for maybe the NSF I-Core grant. So congratulations to that group. Online, I've seen your names, but by visually, I don't know who that might be, but congratulations. A little bit of intro to myself so you can have some background. I'm originally from here in Gallup, member of the Navajo Nation. I say that, you know, that might be obvious. It's just kind of funny. When I left Gallup to go to school and I went to work in the Bay Area of California, people thought I was Filipino. I thought that was hilarious. I never met anybody from the Philippines, so it was sort of like, no, I'm Native American. And people said, are real? Like, are you full-blood Native? I said, yeah, I can be full-blood Navajo. So all those interesting things about leaving Gallup and going out into the work world where I actually felt like a minority for the first time. But if you'll know the numbers with minorities who will go into technology, maybe even in business, the numbers are pretty small. So today I wanted to actually take the time to teach a little bit of how you generate an idea. So my background is engineering. I'm both a civil and a structural engineer. Currently, I have taken some time off from my job I was at for 27 years, and now I work for the city of Albuquerque. I'm the environmental health director for the city and work for Mayor Keller, so it's a real different job. So I wanted to get that context because being a new job, you actually hear a lot of situations where people talk to you about what needs to be fixed. You got a new job, you're the new lead for this department. Let me tell you what's wrong. Let me tell you what really bugs me. So we're going to actually focus on some of that part of what bugs you to generate some ideas how to do a fix or how to analyze, maybe even brainstorm for how to do this. But we're going to actually use a real nice tool that's been developed so on the PowerPoint slides. And I use this keyboard to back and forth. Could I use your help for that?
I'll turn it around for you so you can be able to use
it. Oh, good.
Do you have, I think you have a helper here. Where should you go to?
So see your side. So a little bit about myself. And last time I elaborated a little bit more, but we're going to try to get through some of these ideas and looking through generating ideas. So if you are taking notes, that would be great because I'm going to have you go through a few exercises this class to be able to brainstorm. And we talked about brainstorming the last time I gave a lecture here at Gallup. And a lot of it was just letting yourself, give yourself the time to think, to be able to reach out to parts of your brain that you don't allow to take the front part of your thoughts because you're too busy doing things right now. Brainstorming, it says turn all that off, just like me, and was still thinking about how to get to Gallup on time and do construction projects, and actually left my laptop at my dad's house. Luckily, he lives 5 minutes here, so I have a lot of things to brainstorm of how to save some time. But just keep that in mind. Let's tuck away all those to-dos for right now. When we look at brainstorming and trying to look at how we validate our ideas, is that we try to generate these brainstorming ideas by either doing your own personal research or talking things over with either a classmate, and I will talk about maybe people that you know very well, who have your best interest in mind. I used to do brainstorming with people just in general, and sometimes I wouldn't get the best feedback. And so I learned to maybe brainstorm ideas with people that know you, that know what you could do, what you can do. We don't need ideas from people or to generate brainstorming ideas because people will say, that'll never work. Oh, that's already being done by so-and-so. I don't know if you're able to do that because they don't know you well enough, right? Nobody needs a Eeyore around them. You know who Eeyore is, right? From the Winnie the Pooh. always has a cloud over his head. It's always raining. Even his voice sounds slow. No, that'll never work. I don't think so. Don't brainstorm with and share your ideas with people like that. When you're trying to generate business ideas, you need the positive. You need reinforcement. You need people to be able to give you positive feedback. The other way I've heard it is constructive feedback. Constructive is where they say, well, that's a great idea. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? The others, they know what you're capable of, and maybe it's a stretch for you to generate an idea that you might not know how to do right now, but they're able to help you stretch to see how could you find the information to see if that's a good idea. So some of the more formal language is market research. So part of it, let's talk about market. So I like to go to the casino here at Fire Rock. I don't gamble. The reason I don't gamble is because I know numbers too much. I know statistics. The odds are against you as a recipient of gambling. Just so you know, I think everybody knows that. So therefore I go there to eat. And I love their mutton stew. It's the prettiest mutton stew I've ever had. All the vegetables are the same size. I soon discovered from some of the marketing people that I'm a demographic for Fire Rock Casino. When I go in there, I hear this music that I really like. I'm like, wow, this is cool. I love these songs. You know why? Because I'm the demographic. I'm the market they're going after. They want people who come and they want to eat something. They're a little bit picky about what they eat, maybe. They have a little bit more cash to pay for maybe a little pricier mutton stew because it's pretty. I like it. It's tasty. They have a chef there. I like food from a chef. I'm going to go out to eat. The other is the age group that I'm at. They have a demographic of age. They also like to pick maybe more people who have disposable income. When we talk about that, it means you've met all your bills, you're not struggling financially, and you want to have some fun. Maybe gambling and eating out is fun. That's my demographic. So if they know my age, they're starting to play music that appeals to me. They want me to relax, take my time. Maybe I will wander out to the casino, not to gamble because I know I'll lose, but hey, Navajo Nation is Church Rock. I'm from Church Rock. I'll throw in $5. Maybe I'll go to 20 and then I'll stop. Nah, I lost my 20. Maybe I'll win some. Cool. I'll go up until maybe I make my money back and I stop. But that's part of the demographic. They make you comfortable. It's appealing. I love to look at the jewelry that's there. So they have a display case right in the front, right? Like, hey, if I want a big, I would probably buy that squash blossom right there. They want you to think like that. Oh, maybe she will gamble, maybe she won't, but she can afford to lose. So that's what I mean by market. Think about the market. Customer discovery. So that was interesting. I went the reverse. Instead of discovering me as a customer, I discovered I was the customer. I was like, wow, no wonder. They have these cards. So if you go there often, you can get a card to be a frequent buyer there, right? We do that at different places that we shop. You get to be a frequent buyer and then you get discounts or something. So that's part of the market. They know you as a consumer. And what we're going to try to do is go through some looking at the canvas of how you develop business and look at the frame of the ideas that you're looking at as a brainstorm. So go to the next slide. So let's talk about opportunities. I think the way, you know, when I was taught engineering, it's a lot about analysis. It's about thinking things through. But with business, you're also doing something similar. You're trying to solve a problem. So let's start with this idea of things that bug you. So we're going to start with that. Start thinking about things that bug you. And on the slides, when I was looking through these, I put a few things. I listed what bugs me. I don't have time to do my laundry. I just don't. I get to it when I can. I really don't have time to go to the dry cleaner to drop off things and to pick it up. So when I thought about that as a market, to me that was a service, something that I would purchase as somebody who wants a service from somebody. And when I narrowed that market, you'll see this as we get through these slides, I was looking at the market category was service. I like service to help me get things done, and that's something I'm willing to pay for. It just depends on, again, on the price and the convenience. Those are things we got to think about. But think about things that bug you right now that you wish you could figure out a solution to. Man, if there's only a business here that would do this, that would do that. One of the things I mentioned last seminar was, you know, I don't think Gallup has a Grub Hub or this new food delivery service. So let's say you're an Uber driver already, and I don't know how many Uber drivers there are, but that's a market for Gallup. The other is, if you are an Uber driver, you could do food delivery. So somebody would get on an app and they say, I want a bucket of chicken. But for whatever reason, time, maybe I'm not able to drive or don't want to drive, I would like somebody to pick up a bucket of chicken for me. And you get this service that you put on your app and you say, go to KFC, they're listed on here, get me a bucket of chicken, you deliver it to me, there's a service charge. That's some of the things that are that service oriented. Think about those kinds of things. So those are out there right now. And how would that be an existing market, and how would you add to that particular market? This is more on the service side. Problems to be solved. So I can remember back when I was in 4th grade, I was living in the dorms at Rehoboth. That's when Rehoboth had dorms. And it was cold outside, so it was kind of the winter. And they used to have us take showers in the morning. And I used to have long black hair. I used to have very wet black hair. I didn't want to use a hair dryer, nor did we have time, because we had to get up at a certain time. We had to get ready, and we had to march. We used to march down from our dorm to the dining hall. So that's the first idea I remember brainstorming. 1, what bugs me is I don't want to go out in the cold with wet hair. 2, why do I have to march to the dining hall? 3, why can't we have food delivered back to the dorm where we live and we serve it? We don't have to go from here to there. That was one of my first ideas I generated. I wanted to build a monorail. I might have mentioned this last time. I wanted a monorail because I could get in it. I could be nice and warm, it was all automated. Didn't need a driver. It had a rail. It would go from the dorm and it would go to the dining hall. It would be convenient to me. I wouldn't have to go out in the cold, and I could actually take a nap because I am not a morning person. And to be able to go and march in the dark, I kept thinking, that really bugs me. I don't like to do this. What can I do to solve it? So if you keep thinking about what bugs you, it could turn into a generation of an idea or to solve a problem. There are new advances in science and technology. Oh, that's what I said earlier. Apps on the phone are one thing to think about, but there's always a connection to people. There may be a tool out there that you could create, but at some point there's some person-to-person way you have to handle a business. You may want to use these apps or maybe ways of coordinating your ideas to then deliver something to somebody. So let's just say it's taxes. 2 things in life you got to remember. You're going to die and you're going to have to pay taxes. The sooner you learn those 2 things are something you can't get out of, you can go on with life, right? So with taxes, there's a lot of services out there. It could be you get on an app for, I forget the latest one. They're all on TV to get you to do your taxes. Now they have an online chat. So when we talk about use of technology, there's something that bugs people. They got to do their taxes. We need to do our taxes, but you got to do it. So there's services that are created for that. What you could think of locally is maybe there's somebody that could help you screen what paperwork you need to get to be able to then go to the tax service. People don't always know. They'll go there, they'll have an appointment, and they say, oh, but you forgot this, you forgot that, you need to have all these things in order. It could be a service where you provide it because you've done taxes so you know how to do it. Let's get this form, that form, this form. Let's dig through all your receipts and let's get you organized. That might be a service you do that falls in line with actually doing taxes. So you don't have to be an accountant, you don't have to be those services that are out there. H&R Block is what taking them on, right? It may be a pre-screen. Let's think about another service. What bugs me is organizing my bills. All right, so now tools have been given to us on our phones where we can set a reminder to say, my credit card bill is due this time. Alarms go off. Bing, bing, bing. Now you just pull it up on an app, right? And you can pay your bill. So that's the way you can think about problem solving using technology, but at some point there is some connection of a person to a person. So you have to set that up. You need to call online and talk to a person. How do I set this up? Think about how you might be a part of that way of getting things done, paying things on time, being organized. The new thing I've seen, there's actually a TV show about feng shui. It's a Japanese concept of how you organize your home to make it more livable, to make you enjoy your home. Now there's a thing, you look at everything that you have in front of you and you say, does this give me pleasure, or do I get joy out of this thing? Well, there's people out there that will help you organize your house. It could be a living room, it could be your paperwork. They will help you go through things and organize yourself. And that's a help because sometimes we get so bogged in our clutter that we need somebody, a third party, to come get and declutter our houses. That's a new service I've been seeing more and more. I see ads for it all the time. Help, ask me, I'll help you to declutter your kitchen. I've had a service where the guy said he will come and clean out your refrigerator. It's very narrow. I've got an ad on my car. I will clean out your refrigerator. And then the other says, I'll do these other things that you need to do. I'll clean out your cat box. I'll pick up the poop in your yard. I was like, wow, somebody actually has a business to do these things that I really don't want to do. You can pay for it in a service of that nature. So that's what I mean by using the advances of things to organize. Maybe it's on the marketing side, maybe it's ads, maybe it's connecting with social media. And I think the other thing we have to think about how we do things now may change in the future based on either changes in law, changes in the way we have to get something done. So keep that in mind. There's some national trends that may help us develop a business that we can actually have a reaction to that's positive. We could service or maybe think of some tool that we develop, part of your business, that helps us to match what we have to do. So let's just take that same example about taxes. Even with the change in the tax law, you still have to file taxes. There's just no getting out of it. And we know that by law, that's what happens. Now, if you're savvy enough and maybe in accounting, maybe you're the one that we go to in Gallup that knows all the tax law changes. That's a real specialized service. That's what we mean by a change. They may be the guru that can help you know what law changed. I think the one that applies to me is I don't have to develop all these receipts or anything. Because the standard deduction for a person in my situation is you don't need to do all that. Just take the standard deduction. It simplifies my taxes. Well, you wouldn't know that unless there was a law change. Next slide. All right, here's the brainstorming part. Let's talk about how we solve problems by thinking about opportunities. So again, how do you solve things that really are something you haven't seen done, right? So what we're equating to is not just focusing on problems, but if you can solve that problem, and if you can charge somebody for your services, that's actually generating a profit. One thing about profit you got to keep in mind, an MBA friend of mine, I said, what's this thing about Black Friday? I said, what's that about? She said, usually businesses will be in the red, which means they have not made any profit until Black Friday, which is Thanksgiving. Can you imagine that with a business? You're in the red all year until you make the Black Friday. The Friday after Thanksgiving is when you start making profits. So when you think about being in a business for the long haul, you got to remember you're going to have to be diligent and keep at that business and committed. We'll talk about that in a minute. About committed to that business to be there through the hard red days when you're not making any profits, but you can see there's a need that you can fulfill someday. Maybe you get your Black Friday, and then from then on you start to make it in the black, which means you're making money. Let's go back to the analogy of paying taxes. One of my friends who's from Choctaw, he said, I told him I was whining. I said, I don't want to do taxes. Please do it every year. He says, you know what you need to do? Change your mindset. If you're making money in life, you're going to have to pay taxes. So anybody who pays taxes is actually making a profit. Because the U.S. government, that's where they get their funding from. It's from the profit of businesses, profit of individuals by paying taxes. So if you have to pay taxes this year, you know what? You're doing pretty good. You're making money. They wouldn't go after you if you're not making money. So that's what we mean by problem solving and thinking about profit. The other is the more clearly you can define a problem, the easier it is to find a solution. So that's always hard. So sometimes people will have conversations and they're dancing around what the issue is. But somebody in the room has to say, you know what, there's an elephant in the room. What does that mean? There is a problem here. The more you can define what the elephant looks like, is it a small baby elephant or is it a big, gigantic, overweight elephant? that's holding us back. It's just a giant problem. As soon as you can say it's a big, giant, gray elephant that's filling the room, well, how do you get rid of that elephant? You've heard that story? How do you get rid of an elephant? You take one bite at a chunk of it at a time and get rid of it. If it's dead, you need to get a spray can to clean up the air. But think about it. Solving the problem of a dead elephant in a room when you should have a little tiny spray bottle and you try to get rid of the stink, it's not going to work. The clearer you can define the problem, the color, the size, what you need to attack it with. If you're going to get rid of a dead elephant, you're going to have some tools to get rid of it. Take it in chunks and get it out of the room. Sometimes we focus in on, I just know there's an elephant. We all know it's an elephant, but tell me, what is the elephant? I used to work with tribes across the United States. That was one exercise we would go through. Tell us, what is the problem that's holding you back as a tribe? The more you can identify it, the better off we can then solve a problem. And when we start hearing people trying to solve that problem, then we say, hey, we're getting there. Because I keep hearing you try to solve the problem when we're trying to identify what is the challenge in front of us. What is the problem? Then we can start solving it. Okay? So when we think about this, you're thinking about what's gonna get in your head to try to solve it. Brainstorming. Let's go through that next exercise. We'll go through that next slide. All right, here's where we create a list. Think about it. What is bugging me right now? So for me, I folded laundry, dry cleaning, it's time. I just need more time. I need some help. I need to be more organized. Gosh darn it, that's on my mind. It's like, so as an example, it's that time of year. You've got like a month left to do your task. Somebody come to my house. Come help me sort out my paperwork. That way I can go to whoever to take it. I'm all organized. I went through all that junk. I would pay somebody to help me get rid of my junk mail. Every time I go to the post office, 80%, 90% is junk mail. Growing student, I would buy your service and you sell it to me. Go get my mail. I got to trust you. Put all the good bills over here that I have to pay. Throw out all the flyers. Shred all those credit card offers I'll never get. Shred it because it's got my information. I know what the problem is. I hate snail mail. I don't like junk mail. And I will let it accumulate. I swear. I built a mailbox for myself at my home because I did not want to deal with snail mail. It was a gigantic mailbox, this big, and had a huge opening. It was this big in the seat because I wouldn't deal with my snail mail. Because the post office kept saying, we're going to hold your mail because you're not picking it up. I solved my own problem. I built a big custom mailbox with a key so nobody could steal my mail and then a little slot so the postmaster could put all that junk in there. Once a month, I made it big enough to solve my problem. I go through and sort all that junk. So my niece, Jennifer, she was living with me. I would pay her to sort my junk mail. So there you go. There's a problem. I know the solution. You just got to negotiate the price. And you want to do a price that will give you a profit, not just do it out of the kindness of your heart. It's a business. So let's make a list, at least, I'll say 5 to 10 bugs that you just driving me nuts right now. 5 to 10, this is really bugging me. I gave you a couple of examples. A lot of it has to do with your immediate stuff. Paper, services, food. Another may be just dealing with things that you have to do every day. One idea I put on there is I thought, you know what, I would buy a nice plain shirt if I only had to wash it according to the label every 3 to 5 days. It wouldn't be pinky, it wouldn't use its stains. If they created a new material that would last 3 days without washing, I would buy it. That's my market, is the material. Because like I said, I don't have time for laundry, right? There you go. What if it goes even further? What about disposable clothes? What if I had disposable socks? I'm warm every day and I throw them away. Now my background is with renewable energy and sustainability, so that doesn't quite jive with me. It would have to be compostable socks. That once you throw it in the trash, it would disintegrate over time. I'm not going to add to the landfill with my disposable clothes. But those are what I'm trying to tag you with. Everyday things, something that bugs you. One thing, I have to have a cup of coffee every morning. It has to be hot. You can't stand lukewarm coffee. K-cup machine, greatest invention ever. I don't want a whole pot of coffee, I just want a cup of coffee, right? So you think about those things that help you get some stuff done. I don't like to go through the drive-through because I don't have time. So if I can make something convenient and fast to get me out the door, another plus. Think about that. How do you solve things that bug you every day because it's getting in your way? Other examples that bug you because you don't have a way to get it done. You don't have a way to solve it. So can you write down 5, maybe 10 things that bug you right now? And I'm going to keep talking a little bit to give you some brain cells. So I don't know if you noticed, but now I'm a regent or trustee for the University of New Mexico. Greatest thing ever, they gave me a parking pass. I can park anywhere. UNM campus, you know, I was running late. There's an administrative sign, just so you know. Administration only, penalty, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 5 penalties. I pulled out the magic little pass, I put it on there, solved my problem. What if you could buy a magic pass like that? That's a service, right? It would cost the money, but how would you solve a problem like that? Maybe at the Albuquerque airport, you know what they need? They need a service where they'll park your car, a valet service. If I'm on business travel, maybe I'll put that little bet on my expense report. Or maybe I'll get paid what they will do for per diem, which means you only spend so much. And I'll pay the little extra because I'm running late. Here's the key, park my car, I'll be back in 3 days. Done, out of there. I've seen other airports that have that service, so it's not a new idea. But Albuquerque does not have that. You know what I've seen here in Gallup, actually, many businesses. Chase Transports, groundless transport, groundless transport. Now they're getting sophisticated. Veteran-owned, woman-owned. I forget what other categories, but now there's competition. So now how do you make that market more narrow to you? Safe driving records, never have an accident. I will keep your loved ones safe if you use my service to drive them from their home to the IHS facility and back. What do you need to do that? You have to apply the qualifications, but there's a market out there. There's a lot of elderly people that need a ride from here to there. Now, the ones I've seen, just as a hint, are all medical transport. What about a transport just to go to the grocery store? We know that older people they're not tech savvy. You're going to have to sit by them and say, let's write out a grocery list. Okay, how about, can you go in the grocery store? Let's get you a wheelchair. I'm the personal assistant that helps you get your groceries. So maybe there's somebody out there that would pay to help get that done because they're having trouble. It's not your troubles, but it's their troubles you're trying to solve that problem. Now think about what you've written down. Think about how you might narrow it to something that can be really narrowly improved. How could you improve what bugs you? How can you define that problem out there a little more narrow, not so broad brush? Think about how you might be able to define the problem a little bit different. Maybe it's more narrow. I'm trying to think of an example I came up with. So I told you about the K-cup machine, right? The thing about K-cups is I told you I like sustainability issues. K-cups, you throw them in the trash. Where I used to work, we used to actually have a K-cup recycle program. So we would get a box from this company, and they would take the K-cups apart, get rid of the things inside, get the little plastic cup, and that was recyclable, get rid of the filter. So it was manual labor to take the K-cups apart. But it was something that was needed because you want to recycle things, you don't want to just help fill up the landfill. The latest thing in Albuquerque, think about it, they're going to put in an ordinance against plastic straws, plastic bags, and styrofoam containers for restaurants. You might think about how could you create a new container that doesn't leak. The big deal for Albuquerque is we have red chili. I had this restaurant, family-owned business. I don't want to buy specialty stuff. My family's going to go under if you put in these high-priced, high-pollutant, compostable boxes. We'll find a cheaper way to get that. Focus in on red chili, a container that's not going to soak through. That's the biggest thing. We have red chili in a cheap container. It's going to get all over and stay in the throat. Those are what I mean by problems. You're hearing these are live problems going on in Albuquerque about this ordinance. The others, if you're a seamstress, I'd be making cloth bags for people and selling them. You're putting your brand on that. Your name, I'm a woman-owned business. Then people will start seeing your bag around town. They'll take it to the grocery store. Think about that might be another way to advertise, but that's a need that's currently out there. How do you improve it? Well, you put your own seal on that bag. You might even purchase through something like Amazon and get it for cents on the dollar and then sell it for profit, 5 times as much, to be able to get a need met, which is people carrying around bags instead of the plastic bag. So there's a young man at the UNM Rainforest. He actually is in residence there. He came in from Aztec, New Mexico. He's featured in the UNM Mirage Alumni Magazine this month. His great idea, and he's making money. He's making so much money in his first year as a student. He had to hire an employee to help him out because he wasn't be able to do his homework. I'm kidding. He couldn't keep up. He needed to buy, telling for somebody to help him out. What's his big thing is smoke bombs. They're not just smoke bombs. They're colored smoke bombs. So it's a product that he doesn't assemble. He buys it and he resells it. So people are using it for birthday parties, for graduations, football games, basketball games. I've seen it used on commercials. I might have mentioned this last time. But just the simple idea of the smoke bomb and the availability of it, he's making so much profit he's having to buy time on somebody helping with his business. I think I actually said the same idea to a friend of mine at Turtle Mountain, Chippewa. She sells fireworks on tribal land. So she's doing really well with the fireworks, but she has to keep an inventory. The thing she said with smoke bombs is that you have to be able to get it and ship quickly to be able to get it. Let's say you want a reveal party, that's a new thing, right? Like having a baby. Can't wait till the baby's born, you got to figure it out, and you got to reveal it to everybody. I think this is funny. I spend a lot of money on pink and blue or mixed cakes. You know where the baby is until you open the cake and then it's pink or it's blue. There's a whole market out there for this stuff. So he was saying, for those, they're pink and blue bombs, you've got to get it fast because the people are going to have a party. So it's about shipping to get those things to where the customer wants. So that kind of is his problem right now. And the gal at Turtle Mountain, Chippewa says she can't keep up with orders like that to get it shipped because Turtle Mountain doesn't have a great UPS service or FedEx service out there, so it's not fast enough for them to do that. So they're sticking with their fireworks. The other problems you may be writing down is bugging. Anybody have maybe share one thing that bugs them that they have on their list? Good example. There we go.
Having to fuel the car all the
time. You always going to have the gas. So there's ways to solve that. Maybe there's a treatment for the gas that makes it more efficient. I used to do that a lot. Oh yeah, the old Texaco station, right? I remember those days. In Albuquerque, we have vehicle pollution inspectors. What we're talking about is adding service like they used to have at the gas station, where not only do they test your ignition, they give you a certificate, but they'll have a little marker that if you have a crack that's over at a certain length, they'll just give you a safety advice. It's time for you to probably get a new windshield because this crack is longer than legally bound to see safely. They're not going to give them a ticket, but they're giving them a safety. Oh, your back tail light is out. Let me do that. It could be a service like that. It's a little along the line like personal service, but it's an enhancement for the car itself. I love it. You know how many car washes are in Gallup? Automated car washes? 1, 2. I waited an hour 2 weeks ago because I refused to get out of the line. I was not going to get out of there without getting my car washed. It only cost me like $9, but then it was my time, right? So I would suggest maybe it's a car wash for a fundraiser, but then you add service. Hey, how about we have it near a gas station and we'll fill up your tank with gas. There's ways to make it not just a business, but to raise funds and make profit, right? That's what we need. Fundraising the same as making a profit, a little more informal than just a business. Anybody else want to share something on their buzz list?
What BuzzFeed is on the reservation, and what I'm worried about right now is that business is going great, sales going great, but I'm trying to figure out an idea of where we do pizza. People to the reservation come in, but I'm thinking about doing kind of work at take and bake, so they can see it out from my place out.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I love it if I could just take it and put it in my oven. Yeah, yeah. I never know what I'm going to eat, right?
Yeah, ready to go. They out there about 9 miles.
And that also solves the problem of pizza getting cold and having a box for a freezer box. You know, it's a great idea. The next thing to think about, a lot of Navajos, a lot of Pueblo members are lactose intolerant, like my dad. I went to White House and they said, oh, do you want to try some vegan cheese for your dad? Like, I didn't know there was such a thing. And they had it, put it on there, and he got to do it vegan cheese. But wow, that's a unique product. So just knowing your consumer base, your market, you know, maybe you have more pizzas without the cheese and vegan cheese with lactose intolerant. Another bug item.
Yeah, whenever I go to the laundromat, there's always kids running around, getting into trouble, stopping my machine when it's halfway through. So a place where they can play, like a little tiny safe jungle gym, would be nice. I would go there if someone had that here in Gallup.
Or even if you just would babysit right there, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you another idea just because my brain's going. Even creating an activity book, can you give them a little box of complimentary crayons?
That would be nice.
You're creating the book itself, and maybe it's like buy 10 washes. You're in business partnership with the laundromat. If they get so many washes, they get the coloring book or whatever, and the kids get the colors. It keeps them occupied. Other things like that, they keep them occupied. But you got to charge something. Don't forget, we're in it for a business, which means you should charge.
Okay.
And it's okay to charge people. Next slide. All right, we talked about this brainstorming with the 5, they say 10 here. And let's look at these categories of capabilities. That's something for you as the business creator. What skill or capability do you have that you can add to your idea? My laundry, I've been doing laundry all my life. I know how to do laundry. I know how to read labels. So I put that as a capability of me. Let's say I want to develop a laundry service or an ironing service. I had a great cousin. She would iron shirts for $1 because she was going to watch the NBA games. So she would stand and watch the game. She'd iron all of our shirts for $1. It's like, wow. She didn't have to do it. She loved it because she loved to iron, but she didn't pay the cash. $1 a shirt. And it was even a plus to get rid of hangers. She said, if you bring your own hangers, I'll give you a discount in the bulk. Even for step. I know how to iron, I know how to wash clothes. I also know how to wash fancy clothes because of the labels, because I know how to read those goofy labels. If you don't know those symbols on the laundry, look them up online. It's like fascinating. The triangle, like that. You know, little square with a circle. They're getting to be where you have symbols and they don't put words in. So, what other experience do you have that might solve the thing that bugs you? You know how to pump gas. You know how to use the gas pump. I think the other expanding on that is that because you're capable, maybe your service is for those who cannot do that service themselves. So how can you be assistant to somebody who can't do something?
Talking about laundry, you know, one thing that I always think about is magnets, the laundry dryers and the things like. I was thinking about something that you can bring from home, like color circles of magnets. You know that that's your dryer, that's your machine. Oh. Everybody's just like, which one, you know, they're looking for comfort. You know, I always think that if you can make your own identity of your own product, you know, your dryer, that's my dryer.
wouldn't mind making it into a pause and pause off.
I don't know, monument every. Do that, or you think it would right now. But I do. Usually I have like 6 dryers.
So think about that what can you do with your time when there's something that you have to do? So I would say what might bug me is having to babysit the dryer and washers. What can you do with that time while I'm watching the noise with my clothes? Think about that. Maybe that's when you're brainstorming these bug ideas and refine it by what are these categories. The other suggestion, when you can't remember stuff, take pictures. Now we all have phones. We got where I parked to take pictures. Oh yeah, I'm not sophisticated enough where you have this little app that tells you, I have the location of your car. I think that's too intrusive for me. Like, what? Are you following me? You tell me where my dot is on the planet? Follow me too close. But think about that. When you have time that you have to do something and you seem to be captive in one place, let your brain start to think about these things, to refine your ideas. Again, when you're talking about things that you're trying to solve, what capabilities do you have? Thinking about what is it you bring to the table that you need. Some of it is the other is you maybe your skill is you tweak things. You hear something and then you make it a little bit better. You don't generate the exact idea, but you say, how about you try this? That's where maybe in class, that's maybe something that you do, share ideas with each other to feed off of the feedback you'll get. That's a nice piece of being in a class where you're doing those things. Again, when you're going to do it outside of class, sharing these ideas, please do that with people who have your best interest in mind. We all don't need another person to be negative towards us. Sorry, but in life we get a lot of that. So put that aside, get all your cheerleaders lined up. Go you, you're going to do great. Oh, I love your idea. You need that feedback that helps you be encouraged. Because we'll get to this next part. Next slide. Researching the market. So a lot of this could be online searches. I think maybe keeping your eyes wide open, keeping your ears open. When you're doing things about town, doing things about school, be a little more observant than just doing your thing, right? I'm going from A to B. But between A to B, if you're observant, you may see some need that could be met. Like, they need a new they need a different kind of trash can. Maybe their trash can is just too broad, nobody can see it. It needs color, it needs spark. Hey, how about if I sold an ad that I put on the trash can for so-and-so? If I get the trash can, invest in it, I can sell ads on the trash can that makes it have more punch. I've seen that before where people are putting ads on different places and they're starting to sell it depending on where it was. Another piece about selling is I've seen people now using wraps or some kind of cellophane or something that you can order and you put it on your vehicle. That's one way you could promote your vehicle, your business with your own vehicle, or your advertising when you're driving around town. Did you know I have this service? Call me at such and such. I can help you out. Remember, you got to remember to ask people to come see me. I have something I could do for you. My rates are really reasonable. You don't even know you need my service, so you need to call me. All of that creativity. Come on, come try my business. That's the part we also need to think about. Think about market size. Go to a place that you frequent a lot, and I'll bet you're the demographic. What is it that drew you there? Is it because you had to be there? Could have been location, could have been convenience of hours. It could be something that actually is never broken, it's dependable. Some of that, when you think about you as a customer, you yourself are your own market. So if you think in that mindset, then you start thinking, what is this service or product or tool that I want to develop that people could use to better a business? That's what we kind of think of as market in a broad sense. There's also the homework that you have to do. Your idea, you need to Google it or put it in a search engine and see what else is out there. And define that differently every time you get different searches back. The more narrow, you'll narrow in onto colored smoke bombs, need fast shipping, It'll show you. It'll show you in your searches. The sophistication of search engines are really remarkable. The others, we do have the rainforest folks, so there is ways to ask, and maybe they can help with some research ideas of what is that market. I had a friend who wanted to do something fancy for a bathroom fixture, and rainforest folks helped him look for these features worldwide that were available. But the more narrow you can make it, the better they can help you with that research. When you get to the point where you narrow it to if it's a product or a tool. And again, there's a research link there that can help you generate how do you get more information about the market. Okay, we'll do these. All right, this is the one I talked about earlier. I just didn't say it as motivation. What excites you about trying to solve this problem? How to make it better? How to be able to sell something? The more motivated you are, the better off you'll be successfully riding out the red of the year and get to your Black Friday. I know this is great. I know it's a great idea. I just need to tweak it. I need to hang in there. People who've been advising me, they say to hang in there. That keeps you motivated to do something, to be able to see, hey, I am meeting a need. But now, let me expand what I've done by adding this or that feature, or, like I said, tweaking it. If you encourage yourself enough, you can really think hard about why you want to keep doing this. That's the thing that'll make this from just an idea to, yeah, it's become a passion. I have a passion for this. So just an example I can share with you real quick. So I had a passion because my grandma didn't have any electricity. And when I was able to get to a job where we talked about electricity at solar, where it's all self-contained, my grandma, so we solved the problem. I didn't do it just myself with a solar panel, with batteries, to be able to have self-generated electricity for her. But we found out that's unique for Navajo because we have so many widespread homes. We don't have lines and poles, it's too expensive. So solar energy in these prepackaged modules was a real need on Navajo. Then it got to be that I want a refrigerator and I want a big screen TV, and my dish satellite said, we're talking about grandma again, remember? We're talking just a little meeting the needs of her being very conservative. So you can get lost in your market by all these other. And the others, when we talk about this matrix, and I'll just go through it real quick because I think we'll run out of time. There we go. Develop a matrix, and I believe these slides will be available, of the things that bug you. Please categorize them. Are they a service? Mine were all like personal service, and I had one that was like clothing manufacturer. Then I had to rate the bugs. What bugs did this solve? I had to write that down. Like I put dry cleaning on. And then the capabilities. If I was to do that business for myself, I know how to do all that. I know how to iron and talk about it. I know how to clean clothes. They have great capability because of experience. So take these and rate them on 1 to 5. The market, you have to think about what kind of market would be there for this kind of service or product or tool in the area that you live. So let's concentrate on doing your product locally. What is that market? Is it a 5? Yeah, nobody's doing this here. Nobody. So then that's a 5. That market is huge. Or it's a 1. Gosh, everybody's doing this. I see multiple businesses doing that. And then the motivation. Rate that from 1 to 5 in your mind. Yeah, this would just really motivate me to get this done because I just really believe in it. Or motivation number 1. Yeah, it bugs me, but you know what? I don't have a passion really for ironing. I can do it. I'm capable, but do I want to? No. Number 1. That's what we mean by motivation. And the thing is, when you add it up, there's a column that's not seen because of the Zoom. It's the actual number total. So if you rate things 1 to 5, your category would be, for me, I said personal service. It really bugs me not to have my laundry done, but it's not that bad. So I put a 3. Capability, I know the minimum laundry is a 5. Capability. Market, yeah, there's a lot of market in Albuquerque for that. That's where I live. Motivation, 1. So I added up all those numbers and I looked at the totals. When you did all that analysis done just by numbering and your own evaluation, you'll see where that sweet spot may be. Where you're highly motivated, there's a big market for opportunity, you have great capability in that area, it really solves something that bugs you, and then you figure out what category that might be. It could be a thing, it could be a service, it could be like a tool, an app or something of that nature. Next slide. Okay, this talks about filling out the table and how to do that. We need that real quick thing. And then last, if we can get to this piece, maybe as a group in another discussion or online, let's try to look through these. Who could you partner with to get this stuff done? Maybe there's an existing business that you could partner with where you just add a little bit and you just add that little service added to what they do for now. What are the key activities that are involved in that business that have to get done? Key resources, who can you rely on to help you out? Value proposition that you have to write down what is the value to your customer. Write it in a way that somebody reads it, they can understand. What is that value I give to you as a customer by doing whatever business it is? You got to develop customers, you got to have relationships, you got to be able to talk to people about your business and how are you going to do the marketing, maybe advertising, patient. That's what they mean by what channel are you going to do that with. Customer segment, like I said, Fire Rock, we narrowed in on my age group and all those things, so I know that segment just by example. And then you've got to really look at these things that you'll get to at some point. How much is it going to cost? And then the others, what's the revenue stream going to look like? But you'll get to that part. I just wanted to get the ideas generated. Excuse me for a second. This is telling me I need to stop talking. Sure. Yeah, the PowerPoints will be available by email and on the STC logo record. Because this is actually being recorded. If people are listening, but the slides will also be available.
And if you just Google business model, there will be several entities.
Let me go to the next slide. This is just telling you how to be able to write this value proposition. I think this is something when you've gotten your business idea a little more mature, it's an important piece, but not at the beginning stage. The value is really when you're talking to somebody who might fund you or partner with you, to be able to articulate that in a quick fashion, get to the heart of the matter, not flowery language, but get to the point. This is what the value proposition. Get to the point. What are you going to do and why? And why would I want to choose you versus somebody else? And that's another thing. Why would they buy you first rather than somebody else? For me, with me, I'm a Native woman. I have my own business. I've been doing blah, blah, blah for almost 30 years. Trust me, I will help you. That's what we mean by trying to articulate those things. Next. All right, so these are the things that we're trying to get towards is how do you get that proven need? How do you know it's going to work? You're getting an idea that's meeting somebody's problem or solving a problem. It gives you personal satisfaction. You've got to be excited about it. If you're not excited about smoke bombs, don't go into smoke bombs, right? Do you have capability in this? Do you have a skill that really lends itself to doing that? And then again, what is the market? If you're going to do local, know how much that might be. Is it a niche or just a few people, or is it really wide open? And again, if you don't have passion for it, you'll look at the idea. You have to really be motivated to do that. And the motivation is going to come at the next stage when you start selling your idea to a funder, a partner, somebody who's going to help you get this done. You got to be able to sell it. Elevator speech, I think I mentioned that the first go around. Tell me 5, 10 seconds, 15 seconds up, you lost me. 20 seconds. I didn't even know what your name was. You forgot that part. Practice. Don't talk about practicing that. I think we're good. I have a couple minutes for questions, so let's take time to do that.
Sandra. There will be a quiz for I can make the announcement.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, I'm Cecilia Pacheco. I'm the site coordinator for the University Center program, and I just wanted to make sure that you all know that after this talk, there will be a 10-question quiz that will be sent to your emails via the Eventbrite. You should have been receiving those emails, and that quiz will need to be completed within the next 24 hours just to receive the credit for attending and then to go towards the entrepreneurial capabilities certificate. So,
There's a feedback loop, so please use that, but also for the credit too, and so that it should be back in 24 hours.
Yeah, I have a question. A lot of these ideas and concepts are our environment here. What I'm really hurting on is how do I improve my technology on the application? There are two services, Rainforest, that assist me on how to utilize these apps. Because one of the things I discovered is that the platform that you can I don't have, especially and just that application and knowledge is so difficult for me because I'm from the old school, so this technology is just throwing me off and I can't. So I'm looking for maybe a way where somebody can help me with the application process by two. This is how you do it.
And you could do that by a Zoom conference, right?
yeah, we could probably do that. And so as part of the University Center program, we do have the different site mentors and then like the site coordinators who you can talk to. And Sandra's the site mentor for Gallup. So we could definitely work with you to figure out, maybe we could do a Zoom tutorial or a call where we could just help you figure out how to use the Slack. I'm still learning how to use Slack myself. I haven't used it before. So that's not an uncommon thing. I know a few people are new to it.
I think what I was after was to be able to not have me. I'm accustomed to one-on-one.
Oh, I see.
So when I try to talk with Bill, I only got 10 or 15 minutes slot with him. I'm looking for somewhere I can sit down with him. Let's see where to solve it. But if you go through the technology, it's so difficult.
Yeah.
You got limited time and you got to be at the point where you can't really see what are you doing wrong.
Well, I'll take that back and figure out what we can do. I'm in Gallup.
Yeah, we can also talk to Bill too about
Bill is an internet savvy guy.
Yeah, I know.
Do you have an iPhone?
I talked with him, he showed me it's so fast. I was trying to figure it out.
Do you have an iPhone or Samsung?
Yeah.
Could do like a FaceTime for you. I don't do this. I don't need to see anybody to talk to. Some people, they want to see you. But we could arrange something like that.
Well, the reason why I'm asking is that I know Bill's real busy, everybody's busy. Somebody just like a one-on-one. Go from here to Albuquerque like on Fridays. I have time off and just spend 4 hours just to kind of, this is what it is.
We could figure out something.
Yeah,
really
we could.
Yeah, Fridays are better for me too. In Albuquerque, sorry.
Yeah, we
I've
could.
actually run to Albuquerque. It's really to try to put this thing together, try to put together a model. And right to the point, I start doing the presentation. I get few details in it. That's the hard part.
Yeah, we'll have to narrow you down and say, why don't you say all that to keep it?
Another resource that I got through the Rainforest is called Udacity, D-A-C-I-T-Y, Udacity. They have a free how to build a startup video course, but it's really broken down into very small segments, and they go into the business model canvas in real detail. So if this is your first introduction to the business model canvas, I would highly recommend Udacity, how to build a startup, because it's free, it's digestible, you can pick and choose which topics you want to look at. For me personally, it's been great.
Cecilia, can we send that out for
Udacity, yeah, and just so that you all know, we do have open office hours at the Lobo Rainforest. Certain days of the week, the last Friday of every month, we have SCORE office hours where you can go to the Lobo Rainforest, talk to a retired CEO of a past company. They're very They're experts, they know what they're doing, they have entrepreneurial experience, and they'll have a one-on-one conversation with you about your business ideas. And it's a really good resource. So we have that on our website. You can sign up. That's the last Friday of every month. And then we also have SBDC office hours at the local rainforest, which are every 2 weeks. And those are 1 to 5 p.m. Again, just stop by. And we can send out those links and post them on they're posted on the New Mexico Rainforest, Global Rainforest website. But if you have any questions about those programs, you can email me and I can send you the information.
And then the correction to my email address, you guys want to write down SKBA, SKBGAY @comcast.net. So I'm no longer at Sandy Lab, so if you have been sending me an email, it went into the ether. Sorry, you get it. SKBA @comcast.net. That would give you the right question. Or set up a phone call. If you don't want to use the tool that's out there. I've been kind of floating around in that. What's it called again?
The app. Which app? Oh, Slack.
Slack.
Yeah.
I've been going in and out of Slack. I just haven't made my presence known. I'm reading your chat. Anybody have another question? Because I think we're out of. Well, I appreciate everybody's time and attention for today. Hopefully you guys started with some ideas. Again, there's other resources to follow up in more detail, videos and resources at the Rainforest online, but also if you can get to Albuquerque at the end of the month every Friday, you can meet with a previous CEO who really go over things with you in more detail. Great resource.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.